Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Reverend Barnett is here. Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We're not having our usual opening this morning. Div is running late, but we're still going to go on with our program this morning. We got a lot of things to do, a lot of things to talk about this morning. It's just so great. It's a beautiful day, Dr. Davis, and thank you for sticking around.
Oh, yes, sir.
Righty, and thank you very much. You had a wonderful program.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
I know Father's Day is coming up, and we just want to encourage everybody to honor their fathers.
Yep. We definitely want to do that. We want to do that. And when you say Father's Day, that means a whole lot. And but we have to deal with the issues at hand. Are these fathers? What percentage of fathers is available to their children?
I don't know.
It's not extremely high, I can tell you that. And you know, we criticize mothers, but fathers, we all need to be closer to our children. But we'll talk about that later on in the program.
And you know, Reverend Barnett, not just but it ought to be something done about the dress code. These young men is walking around talking about their fathers. What kind of example are they setting for their sons and their children? They're walking around, you know, I hate to go in the store and a young man walking around and he's showing his underclothes and showing his behind and you know, and what kind of example he's setting to be a father?
Well, he's never been taught. He doesn't know.
And the more we talk to them about it, it looks like the worse they get.
Well, they were taught by, raised by probably someone who thought it was cute and thought it was something that outstanding. And by being taught that, that's instilled in their mind, and what outsiders say don't really matter to them. So until we get a hold to certain things that's going on in our community, it will never, ever come back the way it once was. We'll have to understand that. But still, we got to be able to do what we need done in our community. But there are a lot of things we want to talk about this morning. There's a big scandal in the Dallas Independent School District. Fires 15 in a probe. We're talking about 15 coaches, administrators, and others have been fired in the Dallas Independent School District. Mike Miles have terminated 15 people over a scandal by two young men, they say, that were living in a house on Cinnamon Oaks, and they had no guidance around them, what was going on. These young men were recruited to play basketball, one at Madison High School, the other at Wilma Hutchins. And what do you think about this? I want to ask you earlier right now. Give me a call at 972-647-1893. Give me a call. What do you think about this? Do you think it was fair? Do you think the recruiting, that if this is all true, you think that was wrong? Or do you think, do you know that other school districts do it, other schools do it, they do it all over, recruit athletes to play, We found that there was steroid use in some of our suburban districts, but they never had to give up or forfeit a state championship like James Madison is going to have to forfeit this 2014 state championship that was coached by Coach Johnson, the son of Goree Johnson. And why is it? What is this guy, Brett Shipp? Why is it he's always going seemingly after black schools? He seems to just tee off on and go after them. But when they uncovered all the corruption out in Southlake and other school suburban districts, they don't seem to, they back off. But when it's in the Dallas public schools, why do we allow them to come in and just do different things in our district and try to get away with anything and say it's in the name of helping our district? Let me tell you something from experience. I know that all of them, do you see these powerhouses? Highland Park, all of them, they recruit. They even bragged about it. I remember they bragged, I think, their greatest, most well-known athlete, Doak Walker, Kyle Rote. I know they said that Doak was from, Corsicana somewhere, different places.
I'm not familiar with them myself.
Yeah, but they all recruit. They all do things.
Yes, sir.
But it seems like this guy on Channel 8, Brett Shipp, seems to only go after DISD. And most of the time, they're African Americans. 99% of the time, they're African Americans. Why? Real guns?
Yeah, they're real guns. I seen her news with this lady. She had a gun strapped on her side, and a little girl in one hand, and she in the jacket about all this stuff. You know, all this, and they walking up down the street with guns on their side, and they say they have a right to do that.
Well, now you can carry a shotgun.
No, these are pistols. These are pistols. I seen people walking in the Jack in the Box, McDonald's.
The Dallas Public Schools.
Barnett, she got a call on the line. She wants to elaborate on the gun situation. I don't know if you want me to put over there.
Yeah, well, just put on there, okay? If she want to talk about guns, all right, okay? All right.
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me, Barnett?
Yes,
I just wanted to say that, as Reverend Davis was right, we've been watching it on television, and it's a whole lot of, all of them are white people, and they're talking about, I think it's the Second Amendment law, where you're supposed to be able to carry guns or whatever, and they're saying that they got a flag, a white flag with a rifle on it saying, come and take it. Come and take it. And they're in downtown, they were in downtown, I think it was Arlington or Fort Worth, and they had white flags, they had their children out there, and I told my husband, I said, how many of us could go anywhere with a rifle strapped to our shoulder, talking about come and take it?
And then I saw this lady in I think it was Jack in the Box at McDonald's. She had a pistol on her side.
They tried to go in Chipotle, and Chipotle told them they could not come in there with those rifles on their shoulders. So they trying to
did you see
law.
You saw them with pistols also?
Yeah, they want to do the the handguns are supposed to be concealed, but they want you to be able to just walk out in the street or wherever you're going with your rifle or your pistol, where you can show it. They're protesting right now.
Do you own a handgun?
No, I do not.
Why?
Well, we just don't have one. We need one.
Why? I want to know why. Because
not because I don't believe you should. We just have not purchased one. That's all. That's the only reason.
Because the writing's on the wall.
I know it is.
I mean, my God, what?
I told my husband it's just to shoot some of us, but I guess I shouldn't go there.
No, why not? Tell the truth about the situation. They're not going to.
I believe it's just to be able to use that law about I feel threatened they want to probably bring that out, too. I feel threatened. They'll have their rifle. They can just shoot some of us. I really believe that.
Stand your
they'll
ground,
have the right
huh?
to shoot us, to stand your ground.
Yeah,
so they'll have the right to shoot some of us. I just wanted to say Reverend Davis was right, because we've been watching it on television.
Is that right? What channel been showing this?
On Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
And they're showing these people, all these people. Well, now, do you see the police around them?
If they are, they're not in the eyes of the camera. You don't see them on the camera.
Well, I remember
see these people with their families.
I think it was Arizona, somewhere going west, that a whole bunch of them had a lot of guns when President Obama was speaking there in public. They were standing out there with their guns.
Right. Well, they're doing it. They're doing it in our area now.
Wow. So now, are you going to get your gun?
I'll leave that up to my husband. I would hope so.
No, leave it up to somebody else.
My husband, he's the head of my house. Yes, sir.
Huh?
He's the head of my house.
You
yes,
both
sir.
will lose your heads. They come after you. They got guns and you don't.
I'll have to wait and see what he do, but I just wanted to let you know he was right. They are doing that now.
Well, I'm glad you called. I'm glad Dr. Davis said this, because I hadn't seen that. I'm sure a lot of people listening that probably have seen it. And,
it's been all on the news.
And but what does it say? We need to arm ourselves.
all right.
That's right.
You want to protect yourself, be able to protect. I'm not saying go out and shoot anybody, but
Yeah, that's right.
But common sense tell you, if though your opponent has a weapon, and
You need to protect yourself.
you need to get yours to be able to protect yourself. Now that's just common sense. Now a lot of people, I'm a Christian. No, God gave you common sense. The same God that you're talking about gave you sense enough to protect yourself.
And we're headed for these kind of days. So.
Yes.
But anyway, I just wanted to say God bless you all, and I enjoyed the program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you for the call, huh?
Well, you have another call on the line.
All right, put them right on.
Good morning, Knon.
Good morning.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, this is Casey Thomas. How you doing, Pastor Barnett?
How are you, Casey? Fine. You doing all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great, I just want to mention a couple of things. One, the early voting starts on Monday. I know it's been real quiet, but we do have a school board race, one of the last black school board districts as a runoff, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so early voting starts on Monday. A lot of your listeners live in that particular school district.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to remind them that early voting starts on Monday for that school board runoff.
Well,
And
now, is not the power structure trying to take over that district?
Well, I think it's in the hands of the people, especially when you got this being the only seat, the only race that's going to be on the ballot. It's going to be about grassroots. I
Well,
believe that the candidates who can mobilize the grassroots, who have a history of mobilizing the grassroots, can be successful in this particular race.
yeah, it seems like there's a lot of money being spent on one candidate to make sure this candidate really has no real background in working in District 6, but it seems like there's been a lot of money put into that effort. There's something very sinister about that whole situation. So we hope people understand what's going on. You have Ms. Joyce Foreman running in that race, and who worked long tirelessly in our community. And you have Ms. Watley Watson. What's her name?
Bertha Watley.
Yeah. You have her running in that race, and well, the choice is obvious. You want the power structure, or do you want one that's that have worked for years in your community with you? So this should not be a hard race to pick a candidate, because they both are. You can say they're different. They're totally different.
Well, I believe the main thing, Pastor Barnett, is going to be getting that core of voters. And the good thing about another part of that district are individuals who have a track record of voting every race.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of making sure they're aware that this early vote starts Monday. and election day is on the 21st. Second thing I wanted to mention is, and I'm sure you've heard about this. I didn't get a chance to listen to the show last Thursday. You mentioned it. DeAndre Upshaw, young brother who came down and who was discriminated against at Kung Fu Salon. We had him at the NAACP meeting on Tuesday. Spoke very well. Had maybe about 25 young people there with him. Matter of fact, him standing up boldly, our treasurer, Francis Keelan, sponsored his membership. Now he's a member of the Dallas NAACP. Then he went on Wednesday and spoke as well at the city council meeting. And to my surprise, there was consensus on the council that something should be done about it. City manager said it will be investigated. And I have a friend who knows someone who works in the city attorney's office, and it's already landed on the assistant city attorney's desk. And they're asking anybody who's been discriminated against down there at Kung Fu Salon or any other location in that area on Uptown.
Yeah, what's the name of this doghouse? What's the name of that place where they
Kung Fu Saloon.
Yeah, Kung Fu Saloon. That they don't want blacks and Asians in that. They don't want
and Hispanics.
And Hispanics. They don't want you're too young to remember, but we fought this fight 50 years ago this year. The Civil Rights Bill was passed. Pre-civil rights, you young people have no idea what it was like. You couldn't go to anything outside of your community. You better not be caught. In fact, if you walking through there, they probably, white boys would chuck at you, throw bottles at you, and do everything. If you even went down to wanted to watch a movie, you go down there to that Majestic Theater. You had to sit up in what was known as the crow's nest, upstairs. You couldn't sit down on the floor like other human beings and watch a movie. It was just terrible. Y'all have young people, you have no idea what it was like.
Right. Well, I can say this, Pastor Boy, I agree with you that we don't, because we didn't experience it that way. But I will say, these young people, and once the young people, most of them are under 35 years old, probably between 25 and 35.
Right.
Because of, they have personally, not at the level that you experienced it, they have personally have seen how blatant discrimination can be. They have, it has sparked, let me finish that point real quick. It has sparked a fire within them to do something in this way, in this generation. This movement took place on social media. This young man has 13,000 followers on social media. And he's gotten the word out in many ways in which many people in the civil rights community today had no knowledge about this actually going on. He's been able to mobilize over 1,000 people to sign a petition against this group. So we need to bridge the tactics and the wisdom of the civil rights generation with the new activist generation.
Oh, I tell you what, hey, Casey, I'm way past my time. My producer's here. I'm way past my time. I thank you. I tell you what, just hold him on, and we'll come back and get you. All right. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion, Barnett, your host. We got things back to normal now. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We have Casey Thomas on the line. And if you'd like to call us at 972-647-1893. Let's go back to line 4 and Casey. All righty. Good morning, Casey. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here with you, Pastor.
What did you say this young man's name is?
DeAndre Upshaw.
DeAndre Upshaw. Okay. I saw something about that on the news last night. I saw Dwayne Caraway and another city council person going into what's the name of the place again? Because I missed the name. I've never heard of it.
Kung Fu Saloon.
Kung Fu.
No, Kung Fu, like martial arts.
Kung Fu.
Saloon.
Saloon. Where's it located?
It's in Uptown. I'm not sure if it's on McKinney or not, but it's in the Uptown area.
And I know they were saying last night that they had discriminated against dark-skinned people. They wanted, they would enforce a dress code against people, African Americans, Asians, you say Hispanics, And but whites could come in with the same dress, and it was not enforced. You know, they were welcome.
Exactly. And see, what really made his case real strong was when he was able to take a picture of his feet and a couple of other Caucasians that he was down there with their feet, and they had on the same exact shoes with no socks. Mm-hmm. And they let the Caucasians in who was with him, but would not let him in. And then what happened is, as a result of this, many other people on his Facebook page have began saying, "Hey, me and a couple of people went down the same place, the same thing happened to us." And so it's created a firestorm that has caused this younger generation to understand to a certain degree, you know, that things have not changed that much, and that
well, I'm glad
here's opportunity to build our traditional civil rights generation with this young generation of activists and build a very powerful machine, and that's something that we at the NAACP in the process of doing.
Well, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened because nothing is a better teacher than just having an experience with some of the same things. But see, as I was saying, they would have signs up, white only sign,
right.
Yeah, and different things like that. You still don't. The sign is not there, but the attitude is there, and we want to make sure that our young people learn about this, know about this. That'll put them on their guard because they're coming in other ways. Your school system, everything. They are turning the clock back on you because basically most of your school system have resegregated. So it's still a lot going on. What do you think about the firing of those 15 people that would? You work with DISG, don't you?
Correct.
No, I don't want to put you on the line in. I don't want to put you out there. All righty. Thank you for your call. All right?
Anytime.
972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Mr. Johnson. All righty? Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning?
Fine. You doing all right?
Yeah, well, I was speaking. I'm sorry I had to get online to you because I couldn't get in touch with you. I know to get a call to get back your address and everything. Mm-hmm. But I was told it was the last week, program. I was told that I was going to get a phone call, and I never did for the Veterans Affairs situation. Speaking what I was speaking of. I want to try to get that someone to. He was going to get me back in touch with me. I never did get back in touch with you.
All right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to call you, and when you don't hang up, I'll get your number and I'll call you this morning. And we get, because Veteran Affairs is really, boy, you got them before the gun now. Now is the time to pull the trigger on them because this is nothing new. This has been going on for years and years. And like I say, you have a hypocritical Congress that should appropriate monies for the VA hospitals, and they don't. But they'll criticize the president as if he's ignoring the situation. He put out legislation to get all the VAs upgraded, but they won't pass the legislation. So
I just got threats over threats from the congressman office. So, if you leave and go to Washington, that's where I'm going to take the case that I will might not make it back. These type of things. That's how deep it is. It's for pursuit of my benefits. I got the right to assemble. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having problems with that.
You say you got that from a Congress office?
Well, I mean, it was threats, that for one of our constituents in Eddie Bernice Johnson's office. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Kovloff was his name. I got the call.
I told you if you go to Washington, what would happen?
I probably won't make it back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It was a threat, and I mean, it's more deeper than, for the wicked of nature. You know what I'm saying? These people, you know what I'm saying? It's so deep, you know what I'm saying, as far as crime being committed.
Mr. Who? What you say his name was?
Mr. Kovloff was a white guy. You know what I'm saying? By the name Mr. Kovloff.
In Congresswoman Johnson's office?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mr. Koval.
Yes, I mean it's more of a deep. And then I was dealing with Rod Givens. He was one of the congressmen, that was there.
No, he works for Congresswoman Johnson. I know him personally. Yes.
Yeah, but he said he was gonna get back with me. I never did get back with them, and they never did get back with me. Then plus the threats that I was given by the congressman office, by Mr. Koval. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me to give up on my pursuit of my benefit from the military, which is service connected. I had a medical disability discharge, you know what I'm saying, that would provide me with the benefits, and I was violated of it, you know what I'm saying. There was no other way they could file the section service connected benefits, and they use the form, you know what I'm saying, use the VA form to file for the service connected, but they violated me, you know what I'm saying, by putting me out the hospital, and you know what I'm saying, after I've been there, seeking the treatment for the condition that I was in. You know what I'm saying? Then plus, it's been years, like you said, it's been years in this matter too, you know what I'm saying, trying to seek justice. So that's why I did call the radio station, because I'm being violated, civil rights and constitution.
All right, well, she'll put you on hold and get your number, and I'll call you this morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. He's making some serious charges there. I will I will talk with Congresswoman Johnson. He didn't leave the number? He hung up? Oh, my God. Well, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. I'm still dealing with this situation with the Dallas Independent School District fires. 15 people, most of them was in the athletic department in the field of athletics. And it was over a situation where this young man died. They had two people on Cinnamon Oaks, two young men staying there in a house. This is what the report says. And they were recruited by DISD, the Wilma Hudson's campus and James Madison campus, and they were staying there. I don't know if they had any parental supervision or not. They said they did not. And when the mother reported this, and it seems to be something that others seem to have great interest in, and I wonder about this situation, why Brett Shipp has so much interest in trying to patrol athletics in the Dallas Independent School District. Now, this is, if they're out living and things like this, it's wrong, but it's not rare as you all would like to think. It's not as rare as you'd like to think. It goes on. It definitely goes on in suburban districts, what they call these suburban powerhouses. These kids, many of them don't live in that school district where they're playing athletics, whether it's football, basketball, track, baseball, whatever. Many of them don't live in that district, but they are recruited. And if you're going to stop one, stop all of them. Stop all of them. But if your tax dollars go to, in a fund, a state fund that pays for these schools, I've often been a proponent of really open schools here in the Dallas Independent School District. I think every school should be open and allow children to pick that school, the school they'd like to go to, for whatever reason. Some would go for academic reasons. Some would go for other reasons. I am for open enrollment. Open enrollment. I always have been. I feel like if you are good at certain things and one school is good at that, you should have the opportunity to go. If you can get in, you can register in time. Drawing district lines off should be only safeguard that if you can't get into the school you want, you do have a home school in your district. But you should have the choice. You should have the choice. I really don't think that people have really thought this out clearly, and but you have that even in Dallas County. Garland has an open enrollment type of situation. It works well in Garland. It works very well in Garland. Dallas, I think, should adopt an open enrollment situation. But I don't know. I don't know if this superintendent is going to do anything. He seems to love to fire a lot of people. He fired, I see here, Gory Johnson, who was an assistant athletic director, who was the father of the coach over the state championship coach over at Madison High School. You have certain people that he seemed to pick on. His son was Roderick Johnson, and Coach Burley from Wilma Hutchins. These people that were fired were coaches, and Jeff Johnson, he's the athletic director of DISD. And no, I wouldn't be sick over that one. No. But anyway, we got people there. Marion, yeah, I know her well. She used to be the principal over at Madison, Marion Willard. And these people are very, very professional. These are good people. Good people. But he done his investigation, he says, and he's firing 15. He didn't release all the names of all the people that's being affected by this. Do you even care? Do you care? We talk about athletics, and you say, well, we need to upgrade academics. You are so right. You are so right. But let's think on it. Have athletics done anything to help us as African American people? Has it been? Has it been a stalwart? Has it been something down through the years that has given us pride and have uplifted us? One of the greatest defeats that Adolf Hitler ever had was in the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. A gentleman by the name of Jesse Owens embarrassed him because Hitler was there claiming that the Germans was a super race and nobody could beat them. But all of a sudden, here comes Jesse Owens, United States. Another thing about what great things that athletics did for us. Back in 1964, before they would pass the Civil Rights Bill, they were still debating it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights movement workers and movers and shakers was asking the United States, asking black athletes not to go to the Tokyo Olympics because they wanted to, we held the key to several events that we would win the gold and help the U.S. to win the Olympics. They were going to pull many of our black athletes off the United States Olympic team. They used that as a bargaining chip to get the 64 Civil Rights Bill passed. I know I'm up against a break. I tell you what, you can call me at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion, Barnett, your host, and you can reach us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Back commenting on this. One of the things that keep a lot of children in school is athletics. I do not downplay the importance of it. I know what their main purpose is there, but a lot of children get a chance to go to college because of athletics. Don't downplay it. Don't downplay it. I'm a college graduate and I'm an athlete. I was. So don't downplay certain things. I know the importance of both sides. And I know that athletics have been one of the great things that have helped us as a nation of people. Or worldwide, it has helped us. It is one of the positive things that we have going on for us in this world. It is one of the most lucrative things we have going for us in this world. Athletics and entertainment. Don't downplay it. Don't downplay it. It's got to be played up. All right, let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Reverend Crenshaw. All righty?
Yes,
Good morning.
Sir. Good morning.
Fine. How are you this morning?
No, don't ever downplay athletic.
No.
Even though Jesse Owens and Hilarion, Germany, even though when he came back to Murray, he couldn't get a job.
No.
Like the Tuskegee Airmen, couldn't get a job.
No, he couldn't get endorsements. He wouldn't. They didn't put him on the Wheaties box, and like they did others. And basically, he was going around the country with the Harlem Globetrotters for a long time, running races, spotting people 10 yards and running and catching them. They would bet on races and different things. This is what he had to do to make a living.
Making ends meet.
Yeah, there was no money in those days in track and field like it is now. They're millionaires now, but he set the pace for them. But he also embarrassed Hitler. He caused Hitler to get up and walk out of the stadium. He wouldn't shake Jesse Owens' hand. He had shaken everybody else who won a medal's hand in the 36 Berlin Olympics. But when Jesse embarrassed him and won the 100, the 200, the back then it was the broad jump, it's the long jump now, and the 4x100 meter relay, when he won those particular events, it was an embarrassment. He was the athlete of the 1936 Olympics, but remember, Hitler had said the black man was inferior and he could never beat the white man. He could not beat the Aryans.
Right.
But he did this, and black people all over the world had pride, and came along just a couple of years later. Yet another German that Hitler brought to the forefront and said that he was the greatest boxer in the world, a fellow by the name of Max Schmeling.
That's right.
And we came back with another black athlete that knocked him out, a minute and 31 seconds, by the name of Joe Louis. And yeah. And see, that destroyed that myth of Aryan supremacy.
Always.
It destroyed the myth. And we must understand, people, we can't afford to do away with anything or put down anything. Everything that God has given us, we need to use that ability.
We need to use what we got.
And we don't need people here, even in Dallas, shortchanging us.
And
the thing that was going on in DISD goes on in every school district, people.
Everywhere.
I'm not telling you something I don't know.
No, you tell it like it.
No, I know about this personally.
I know you, doctor.
Yeah.
You on the ball of day. You hit them all the way with 360 degrees, and knock the nail all the way through. Mm-hmm. 2x4 with one hit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we got some problems here, and I'm not gonna lie. Some of these people that were fired were friends. Mm-hmm. Some of these people I know that they did nothing, but he has come in and disrupted the lives of so many people that have done so well, because they demonize DISD, and in the minds of 99% of the people that's listening to me, it's a terrible school district, it's a terrible place. It is not. It is far better than you would ever dream. It has produced the 2 finest high schools in America.
What do you think about Fort Worth?
Yeah.
What do you think about Fort Worth?
Fort Worth? That was why did they force the general superintendent out in Fort Worth? They say he resigned, but they forced him out.
Yeah,
why? People, we need to wake up about education, what they plan to do.
All right. Now, this what we were talking about, these athletes, I've been done many a time.
Yeah.
And the first person that discovered the North Pole, it wasn't Admiral, whatever the name.
No, it was a black man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. His name Matthew. He's a black man.
Yeah.
He set foot on the North Pole.
Yeah.
Big men that had the expedition, he had set back 6 or 7 white men and took Matthew with him.
Yeah.
And they just killed the North Pole. I mean, Matthew, the black man, was the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's better than all 6 or 7 of them white men.
Yeah.
And then he come back, they put him in a parking garage. He got no job.
Yeah. Well, like I said, same thing with Jesse Owens. This was late as the 50s. He was still traveling with the Globetrotters, running races, racing people. He was a man that had been at the top of the world, the pinnacle of the world, to cause Adolf Hitler to leave out of his own stadium there in Berlin, because he proved Adolf Hitler was a liar and he was wrong.
But you know, Adolf Hitler was good.
Yeah.
He had to fix 5 times a day, and he was on speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see him, if you ever see him in those stands, he's rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
The whole time. Now, you got to let me talk this morning. Pardon me. But I have this soapbox on. I will agree with you about that, what's that, the Hung Fu? Hung.
Yeah.
That's run by a man named Hung. And I don't know if he's Asian or not. But he borrows Asians, too, and all that. But what I'm going to say, Doc Barnett, now, I'm in accordance with you all the time, Joey. But today, you're wrong. And I'm going to hold on now. You've been deceived most literally, without a doubt, and there is absolutely no doubt about it. Now, let me go on now. There's, you see, the handwriting's on the wall, like you say. One may say, one of these stations here, Brett Ship, needs to be applauded, not demeaned by us. That's where you're wrong, because a lot of these stations across the nation are reporting about what's going on, like Brett Ship. They're doing it. Now, he's a minority, and don't nobody like it. But I'm against that. I'm against it totally. Don't fall for it. There's not a bit of that stuff they feeding out for you to bite on and chew it. Because, let me tell you what's really going on. Don't you know? They armed up in Arizona, because they've always been up in arms in Arizona. You could open carry for years. That's the only state it was. Then Florida got hold to it. But now they took up arms and was openly carrying in front of the president. Do you believe for 1 minute President Obama and Joe Biden are going to stand there and Attorney General? Do you believe the United States government is going to stand for that? They're going to disarm all the nations in the entire world. Every nation state, because global governance is coming. And the best way to walk in, just like Nikita said, is to walk in to America without firing a shot. God bless you and God keep you, and I'm gone.
All right. Thank you for your call. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Billy, all righty? Good morning, Billy.
How you doing, sir?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. Barnett, I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about an incident that I'd like to talk to you on the radio, and then about the school district. You have to be very vigilant. I said this some time back when you were talking about the superintendent. You have to be very vigilant about that, because every school district has done that. They have brought kids off those select teams and brought them in that district and put them on the teams. Now, if it's CISD and he's superintendent of all those schools, what difference do it make what school the kid goes to, as long as he get an education?
Now, you see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, Brett Ship. They had dug up stuff on South Lake Carroll. You know, they won so many state championships in a row there, and they were on a roll. But they found out there were drugs being distributed throughout there. And they dropped it.
Yeah.
They found out stuff on Highland Park. They dropped it.
Remember Highland Park, one of won them championships.
Yeah.
And then they were testing for that illegal drug that they were using to build the body up.
Right.
And, South Lake Cal was involved in that, but nothing never happened behind it.
No. But in Dallas, it's a different story.
Yes. Now,
15 have gotten fired, and there was no drugs involved in Dallas. It was just, they said, illegal recruiting. I feel like if my tax dollars pay for any school, it pays for help pay for all of them, it pays for all of them. And then there were a child want to go to a school and don't want to go to the school close to him, he should be able to. Yeah, whatever. They come up with these district lines. I think the lines are good because they should assure them they can get into a school. But at the same time, they should have open enrollment. I've always called for that. Yeah.
Yes. Now, let me share some with you that happened in the city of Denton. There was a group of people who was trying to help a young man get a kidney. And so they were trying to put on a softball tournament. Do you know that the city of Denton was trying to force them to take out $1 million insurance policy in order to go in that field?
Each child? Was it the school, the team, or what?
No. This is the city of Denton did this.
They wanted each child to have $1 million policy on them?
No, they wanted you to have to take out $1 million policy to have a softball tournament in the community where they have the park at. They came in the community and took the park and put it up under the city.
So whoever the sponsor was, that needed to take out $1 million worth of insurance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty steep there. That's strong.
Yeah.
That's strong.
But I called you a couple of weeks ago about men being locked up illegally. I'd like to talk to you off the air about that if you get an opportunity. All
right. Well, I have Neil will take your number. Don't hang up. Don't hang up like the Mr. Johnson did. And she'll talk to you and get your information. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you for your call and comment. Who we have on line two? We have Charles on too. All righty. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Dr. Barnett. How you guys doing?
Fine. You doing all right?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just want to say I like, subjects that you bring up and the knowledge that you have when you present these subjects. I got, the Metroplex, Dallas Metroplex has a serious problem with racism, but the average citizen of this community do not know this because they listen to these so-called city councilmen, these black folk that's in these positions. They listen to them and they think that they're doing the job, but I blame them for the reason that we're in the condition that we are under, for knowing things but not doing anything about it. I guess they got I call it a social card. They got a social card in the community that means they're accepted by the white folks at these positions, the high positions and everything in the city. And the only way they can be invited to different events and stuff, they need to do the right thing, and that's not doing what we need to do. But I blame them for that. And
you're very perceptive.
And yes, and the citizens need to know more about what's going on around them so they can act accordingly. When you go out voting for these individuals, you need to make sure that they're not willing to take a social card just to be accepted in the white world and the community here. I mean, Dallas is on its way to trying to be world recognized, and believe me, there are not a lot of black folks that's going to be on that vote, okay? They're trying to develop a future where they want to attract white people. So these things that's going on in the community, it's nothing new. You said it earlier, and it's been 50 years this has been going on. So nothing has changed.
No.
You got the rappers, you got the Justin Biebers, you got all these folks that are
and there are Justin Bieber, like some of the black rappers. Justin Bieber is using the word nigger. We've gotten so that everybody is using us for fodder.
Yeah.
And I guess they feel like we've become so complacent in thinking we've arrived that we don't have sense enough to stand up and put end to things that are that happens. See, you can insult black people, but you can't insult Jews. You cannot insult gays. They're going to come out. They're not going to take that message. They're not going to take it, and they're going to make you pay the price. There's a price to pay for insulting them, but there's no price you pay for insulting African Americans, because we don't stand up for anything.
That's right.
I tell you what, I'm up against a break. It's 8 o'clock, and I thank you for your call, and you others can call me at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. We're in hour number 2 of Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion, Barnett, your host. Joining us here in the studio this morning is our own Mr. Greg Barber. He's the one that brings you the SAT job line every Saturday morning. Mr. Greg Barber is here. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, Reverend Barnett.
That's great. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All righty. And we just have so much going on, Greg. Man, sometimes you're just confused because there's just so much turmoil going on everywhere. On every hand, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's hard. It's more going on now than I think it was back in 1986 when I started the show. It's more going on, actually.
That's correct.
It's worse.
Well, that would be correct, but people don't be confused. Don't think it's someone else. Don't think it's somewhere else, because pretty soon it's going to work its way to your doorstep. I don't care where you go. I don't care where you move to. When you get there, you might as well ball up your fist, square up, and get ready. Why? Because it's a fight there waiting on you. You can't get away from it. You can't run to it. It used to be you go to the fight. Now the fight is coming to you. Now the question is, what is your response going to be? How are you going to respond? Okay. Are you going to draw up in a corner and just surrender, wave the white flag? Or are you going to stand up, be accounted for, and fight back?
All right. 972-647-1893 is the number you can use to reach us. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Anonymous. All righty. Good morning, Anonymous.
Yes, this is Anonymous, and I was calling. Dr. Barnett, we need someone to help us for the Estelle's apartments over there on Bonneville and Simpson Stewart Road. And it's been calling with the Dallas Housing Authority. But we called them, and they're not interested, and they're putting people over there where women are going to work or trying to do things. They're getting raped, drive-by shootings, and they say that they have policemen around, but they don't have it. You remember when they had all that going on over there in the Village Oaks, where people were getting killed and different things like that?
Well, now, I'm familiar with what you're saying about those Estelle apartments. I went over there. I had to I had a person that worked for me. She had moved in there, and she didn't know it. She thought they were nice because she had heard they were used to be owned by St. John Baptist Church.
Yes.
And she moved in, and she was terrified. I took her home that night. You had drug dealers sitting out there. You could tell each car was different dealers, but they had lights flashing on their cars.
Yes, yes.
I'd never seen nothing like it. They were shooting up in the air. All this while I'm in there.
This is what's so important about it, because when they go to apply for it with the Dallas Housing Authority, we ask them why they're putting them over there. They have enough nerve enough to say that if you don't want it, someone else wants it. And it's not fair, because there are people that are working that they are so scared. Other day it was a drive-by shooting, and a lady was going up, getting ready to get off from work, going up, and she could have been killed.
Well, now, do St. John don't own those apartments anymore?
No, Dallas Housing Authority owns them.
Dallas Housing Authority?
Yes.
Oh, boy, well, I've had my rounds with them. Lord have mercy, have I had my rounds.
And then what's bad, they say that they policemen there, but they need the policemen in the apartment, like they did do vision.
They don't have armed security out there?
No.
Greg, are you familiar with those apartments?
Yes.
Yeah. This has been some years back when I was in there. They were horrific then. And I guess they haven't changed. Nothing's changed.
No, they haven't.
Leave your name and your number with my producer, and she'll get it, and we'll get back with you.
All right, then.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am. 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Let's go to Miss Watson on line 2. All righty, Miss.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Good morning. How are you?
Long time. I'm not going to even identify you and me because we're long-time family members.
Okay.
You remember Reverend H.A. Thomas, and you remember, I'm sure, that Reverend Watson, you always was at our church.
Okay.
I said, Reverend Barnett, I don't think nobody else, you know your political field. I said, nobody else need to go to nobody's church but ours. We love you.
All right, thank you. I love y'all.
Today, still do. I listen to you. I never talk, but I hear all of this stuff, and, it's good stuff, and then it's bad. The teachers, I'm just encouraged about this teacher.
Teachers are so disrespected now. See, that used to be a field where people, everybody respected teachers. But when you get people that will come into your town from a little bitty tin horn district,
right,
and come in and try to take over and do things that you do in a big city, they get it wrong. You've got certain board members,
right,
that need to be gone. That bring these people in here.
Right, should have been gone.
Yeah.
They showed my school. I'm not ashamed, Burnett. I've been here a while, and I know it's not something I heard.
Yeah.
Now, they showed Pacific Avenue School. You know that's off of Haskell.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Up in East House, okay. They changed it to Fantasy. And they have some of the best, we have good teachers, and I don't know whether, but you know what? A lot of this stuff is under the table. This man is getting info from somebody that's paying him a good fee to get in here and get these folks out of here. You understand me?
Well, what was it, 11 schools sold last year?
Yes.
So 11 schools.
Okay.
And some of those schools were excellent schools.
Right.
They dispersed those children and sent them different places.
They sure did.
But I'm so glad, Ms. Watson, that you're showing some concern about the children. Yeah.
They put, you know what they did? They sent the children, because my children was in that, calls over somewhere else. Now, they didn't send them over in the fight. No, over there in Highland Park.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, I know where you're coming from, and I'm looking at the situation.
Still call their name. They were some of the best. Then this man comes up and say, some of them I'm going to send back to school. My niece, I don't mind. I can talk about my family. I got grandchildren in there. They said 30 years plus she was glad to get out of that. He said, ain't no way. Now, if I don't know, what I'm doing now, and out of my children, in her classroom, they all were taught. We, along with me, you know what I mean? Those teachers were good teachers. I don't care, they didn't have what they got now. We had those books that was told, Reverend Barnett, that you couldn't even. I'm surprised I learned to spell my name.
Well, but what happened was...
There's the folks waiting on the line, but I said, Lord, I've just got to get in here.
Yeah.
Because the only way we're going to stop it, we're going to have to stop talking and do something. Is that right?
Right. Well,
yes,
you're right. And
I'd like to meet with the superintendent.
Yeah.
Personally.
I'd love for you to meet with him.
And I'm trying my best to get to him, okay?
Okay.
Let him know about it.
Okay.
And God bless you.
All right, thank you. Greg, that was once upon a time, that was a highly respected profession. We've degraded it, and we don't have the respect anything anymore for teachers. Where did that go wrong? What do you think is happening? What has happened there?
Well, Reverend Barnett, the main thing is the lack of interest, and you had folks that were, you had folks that appreciated it, and your administrators were former teachers now.
Right.
Now you got people going to school to be administrators. They never spend any time
in the classroom.
In the classroom. See, your principals were former teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Your administrators were former teachers. They knew what it was like. They had been there.
Right.
But now some of your administrators have never, ever spent time in the classroom. Therefore, they have no idea of what's going on in the classroom. See, I can theorize and I can come up with ideas about how I think it's supposed to be, but if I've never been there and actually hands-on, then I don't know.
Right. And it seems like we have a whole lot of that. All right, who we have on line 4? Joe? All righty. All right. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Reverend Barnett, how you doing?
Fine. You doing all right?
Oh, yeah, outstanding. Interesting topics as usual. What Greg has just said, I want to segue right into that. He's exactly on point, but there's one other thing he needs to add to that, and that is the parent and the product they're sending to school. If you don't have discipline and respect from children that's coming into the school, it's impossible to teach. It is impossible. I am a former teacher. I taught federal prisoners, and I taught in the public schools, so I've seen it from both ends. If you don't have discipline and you don't have respect out there, it's impossible to teach. These kids, while they're trying to get a test, now these kids setting up texting and trying to set their dial tones on their phone, whatever. They don't give a hoot. They have tested these kids so until a test has lost its purpose.
Well, now, can't they borrow phones from classes?
Can't they do what?
Borrow telephones from classes.
They have tried it, but it really doesn't work. You parents.
Why it doesn't work? We went to school for centuries without telephones. Why is it all of a sudden we got to have them now?
Well, it's a different time. You got a different parent, different administration. They come up with well, you could do the same thing with the lunch program. They give free food. They say the kids don't have food when they get home from school. And when I walk my neighborhood, the kids are throwing that food in the street. It's peanut butter sandwiches. It's chocolate milk. Yesterday, I was walking the street. They lined a box of chocolate milk, and they had just busted them, made them splatter all across the street. You can't buy and give your way yourself out of this mess. That stuff starts at home. A foolish, out-of-control child at home, when he rides the bus to school or you drop him off at school, that's the same foolish, out-of-control child. He just had a different address. That's the same child.
Let me chime in there, Joe. Kids are going to be kids. I don't care back then, today. The one thing that was different, and you are true, the home plays the primary role. The home is the primary source for education. But let me chime in with that. Most of your, back then, see, you had some teachers that were mothers. And that boy that showed out, see, I'll confess, I wasn't always the best in school. I didn't always do what I was told. But you had some teachers that would come over there and twist your skin and pinch you. And boy, if you don't do what you're supposed to do and get over there and act like you got some sense.
That's correct.
See,
but that's not happening
today.
They've
taken that part out. See,
the same thing over in DeSoto. I think if you got a pit bull, I believe you have to pay an extra $25 because of their history of biting and what have you. If they make you, out in Lancaster where I live, you can't let your dog free roam. You have to have it on a leash. Okay, if they will make you control your dog, hallelujah, you got to control your child.
Well, they've taken corporal punishment away. There has been a lot of detrimental acts.
Exactly, but when you look at the end, as John Wiley said, at the end of the day, this is what's happening. Crime, when they put handcuffs on little fourth grade kids, take them out of class, everybody's making money. The judge makes money when you go to court. The lawyer makes money if you get a lawyer. They have to pay for jail space where everybody make money but this knucklehead that's sitting up behind the bar. We got to get away from that mess. We can talk about all this stuff until we blue in the face and the feet. But if you got to get that thing, get it corrected at the home and work it all the way up. A teacher, another thing is talking about what has happened to the teacher, and I'll get off the line, I don't want to hog all the time. But wherever the pay is not decent, the respect is not going to be there. A teacher starting off should start about $70,000 a year. And that would weed out your bad teachers, because there'd be so many good teachers knocking on the human resource door, a bad teacher would stand a chance. Have a good day.
All righty. We thank you for your call. All right. Take a look at the line, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Greg, what do you think about what the firing of these 15 athletic officials in DISD?
Well, Reverend Barnett, you and I both know that's just what we call it. In a time of turmoil and in a time of accusations being levied, that's standard operating procedure. All trouble rolls downhill. Somebody's got to take the blame. I have to shift the focus. I got to make it look like we're doing something about this. Somebody has to take a fall. And as you can see, Mike Miles was not going to take the fall. So those underlings that are associated with it, sorry, but all you guys got to go.
I tell you what, we're going to talk about that. We're up against a break. We got 2 minutes. But why would you seem to want to punish the children for doing this?
Reverend Barnett,
now, they're going to take the state championship away from Madison High School. He's asking the UIL to take it.
Reverend Barnett, he's trying to make the damage control. This is nothing but damage control. He's trying to save face if there is any, given what's going on with the district and the threat of this home rule coming into play. He's trying to position himself as a man who's trying to do something. This is standard operating procedure, whether in political arena or public arena. This is standard operating procedure.
To punish the children.
That's right. Damage control.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just one moment.
And we're back at Knon 89.3 Church Information and Open Forum. Greg Barber here with Marion Barnett. And we're talking about the school district, Dallas Independent School District, where 15 administrators and staff were let go yesterday by Superintendent Mike Miles, who made the call associated with the death of Wilma Hutchins basketball player Troy Causey. Remember on that we were talking about the DISD firings. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, you have to associate that, and I know that family is grieving over the loss of their son, but you don't take this part without that, what was said. Go back and read those papers. Go back and read that mother's part in that and put the whole puzzle together. Don't just take pieces, bits and pieces here and there. You have to take the whole concept. Notice the allegations of forged papers, recruiting. There was a statement made early on, a quote on TV and in print, that I never would have sent him over there had I thought this would happen. How can there be forged papers if you send him over there?
Well, the whole thing is a paradox when you look at it. It's a paradox, and I've looked at that whole situation. I waited, and I see some hypocrisy on parents' part. They knew that what was going on. They knew what happened. They knew that there was a possibility the child could do well and get a scholarship and do different things. They knew all this. But when things didn't go bad, it's everybody else's fault but mine. Now, I didn't want to come out and say that, but that's really what was going on. And that's what's going on. And see, the thing about it, people might think, oh, this is terrible. They bringing kids in. Every district in the United States of America does the same thing. Every school district. Every school district. I was trying to stay away from attacking the mother. I was trying to, but I'm gonna put it like this: she's the center of the problem. She said, because she agreed to this. She agreed to do this.
It's not an attack, Reverend Barnett. I never want to add to anyone's burden, especially at the loss of a family.
No, you don't do that.
There's no way that you can look at this situation and properly look at it and analyze it without that piece of the puzzle.
It would be different if they came in and stole him away and she knew nothing about it and just was there and wondering, where is my child, and your child turned up dead. But when you're there from the very beginning and know everything going on, Hey, it's a total different story. It's a total different story. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line. We say line one. Let's go talk to Reverend Wright. Good morning. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Pastor. Dr. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Reverend Wright.
Good. Pastor, I'm just going to briefly get. I agree with everything that Brother Barber has said. And, you know, at the end of the day, it starts back at home. To me, it doesn't matter what school those kids go to as long as they're in school. I think our majority of our problems are with children that are not in school versus the ones that are in school.
Mm-hmm.
And so to even let that be an issue is ridiculous. But I want to jump off that for a minute and say we had a successful end of the school year this year, Pastor. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the first time we ever had law enforcement all come together, and they all actually participated this year.
Mm-hmm.
The rail station was good. We didn't get any fights or any trouble, so it was another successful year.
Man, thank God. Thank God for you. Thank God for you for putting all that together to make sure our children get home safe and sound. You see, now, this is what they should have been highlighting the news with the great job that Reverend Wright is doing here in the city, making sure people's kids get home safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making sure gangs don't come together at once, because a lot of times they plan to come together last day of school because they can't get kicked out of school or anything else. All of this. And they planned this last days of school to do this, but because of his intervening in that situation, it caused there to be no real serious offenses that really happened, and we thank God for you, preacher.
Amen.
And we thank God for you, Pastor, and other pastors that joined with us. Mm-hmm. And I also want to bring up in the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear about this, is one of your topics was about racism. There's some racism going on within Dallas County that you're going to be shocked when we expose it. Of course, I'll meet with you later to share it with you. And it's right there at the Commissioner's Court on down and those that work with it. So hopefully they're going to try to resolve this before it hits the media. But another thing you spoke about with Brent Shipp is that it's a shame that we don't have black media to tell our side of the story.
No. That's the sad part.
Shame on us. Mm-hmm. We don't have, we can't get the black newspapers to go out there and tell our side of the story. Mm-hmm. Everything is about advertisement and money, so we don't have a voice. And silence.
We seem to have no investigative reporters anymore. Now, I remember we used to have some, but they don't seem to get out there and dig and find to get the background on things anymore. I don't know. It seems like our reporting, our papers, are they lazy or what's going on? Or maybe it's the finance. Maybe they don't have the money to do a lot of things.
With the newspapers, those reporters that look like us have to answer to the editors, to the producers, and so we can't even reach out to a lot of them and say, man, we need to share some of these stories. We've got some great reporters, and we do, but it's unfortunate, and I'm not talking about the ones that work for Fox News and all of them. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the shame. We don't have a black newspaper or black media to tell our side of the story.
That's right.
And that's a shame. And one more thing, I'm going to give my call. 7-Eleven is another issue we're going to deal with. I'm going to talk to you about. There's been several people who have gotten killed in the 7-Eleven stores.
Right.
And it's because their security is focused strictly on the cash registers and the gas.
We talked about this the other day, and you're right, man. We need to get those people that you had telling me about this. I think it was the young lady's father or brother. Who was that got killed there in the parking lot we were talking about?
Yeah, just the young man who was just clocked out, got off from work, as soon as he walked out the door,
he got shot.
Was robbed and murdered by 4-5 young black boys who weren't from Texas, they were from Florida.
Right.
And how they got out here, I'll never know, but they've all been charged with capital murder. But at the end of the day, what happens to an employee could happen to a customer.
Right. And they had no cameras on the outside.
No, we're going to address this. I'm going to send the president who's here in Dallas a love letter and request a meeting. So I'm going to call you and let you know when we can meet with them. And we're going to try to resolve that issue. You're doing an awesome job, Brother Greg. Thank you for all the work that you're doing and trying to put our brothers to work. And God bless you.
Man, he's done this for years. How many years have you done this, Greg?
Since SAT When we started SAT in your church out in Pleasant Grove.
That's been some years ago.
That's been some years ago.
All right. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Keisha on line 4. All righty. Good morning, Keisha.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. Anyway, I just wanted to comment because I saw the Channel 8 news story from last month. Mm-hmm. when they want to really start the ball rolling about getting that state championship taken away. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing was they had the mother on there, and she did say she was wrong. They had interviewed the mother, and they interviewed the sister of the other little boy. Mm-hmm. On there, and they might have said I need a lawyer or I don't feel like talking, but they admitted. They were like, yes, we were wrong. And the sister of the little boy who's in jail, she was looking at the documents with Brett Shipp, and they said, is this your mother's handwriting? Did she even sign off on this? And she said, no. I don't even recognize that as my mother's handwriting. And then the other young lady who lost the son, she says, I was wrong. Well, and I can't get him back. Okay. So she did at least, to be fair, she does feel, mm-hmm. She does regret, and they did show, they said that she lived in Richardson school district, and mm-hmm. apparently someone from Dallas came to her because he was having trouble at school, and she agreed for him to go live in the Dallas area.
Well, didn't they get him out of the juvenile or something?
Yeah, something like that. He was having problems.
He was having problems, and they offered him to go to this different school and can do better than he was doing. So the child was having problems. Yeah, I think they got him out of juvenile detention or something like that.
Right. And then they even show either he or one of the other little boys. Somebody in Georgia was trying to recruit him for a basketball.
Look, that's what I'm telling people. This is done.
They see our children as commodities.
Uh-huh. Well, this is done. No, this is done as nationwide. Mm-hmm. They could be a commodity, but you have to understand that they also can make it. Whether some of those NBA stars, they were recruited.
That's right.
Just
about every one of them you see did not go to the school right down the street from their house.
To be honest with you, I knew kids who went to Highland Park to bolster their football team and stuff like that. And then I remember when I was my own husband, I married to a white guy, and he said they're not reporting about all these other white schools that do it.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is the question I'm raising. No, they're not reporting. They're trying to act as this is some kind of anomaly, just Dallas do. No, everybody in the nation do it.
They did report a couple of years ago where Carrollton, had brought some boys from Oklahoma. But
that was South Lake Carroll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they know that this is going on. This is big business for them. How in the world is Allen build a stadium that's corrupted now? Mm-hmm. Allen built that big old stadium, except for people are investing large sums of money in the ticket sales and all this alumni stuff that's going on.
Yeah, but now you have to look at that team that played. That Arlington beat was probably one of the greatest high school games that ever in Texas history when they beat DeSoto. Some of those boys from DeSoto, guess where they live?
They live in Oak Cliff.
In Oak Cliff. That's Carter. That would be Old Carter. Mm-hmm. But they recruited out of there.
I know.
Yeah, they don't report on the schools that take away from Dallas. But see, it's a mess, and I don't like Brett Shipp. I've never liked him. He's not right. He's not fair, and he needs to be called out. He's no good. He's dishonest in his reporting.
There are a couple of local channels, but you have to watch it over the antenna. 55.4, that's Black Contemporary Television. They have another one.
What is it? What is that?
55.4. If you watch it over the antenna.
Oh, the antenna, what is that?
Digital TV, not cable, just regular TV.
Not cable, it's just a regular TV.
Oh, regular TV.
Yeah, regular TV.
Yeah.
So you can cut your cable off and put it on a regular
Yep.
TV. And 55.4, and that's Black Contemporary.
Yeah, they have Willis Johnson was having a show on there. Then they have a 30.8. That's Black Premier Entertainment. They show documentaries and music specials. They got 27.3. That's Bounce. They got stuff for Black people to watch. And they show how it used to be illegal for a Black person in certain parts of the South to walk along railroad tracks or to be unemployed because they didn't want them getting railroad jobs. So it's amazing. They don't want you to get up to the big time without them sanctioning it. So
a prime example of that just happened and it's just blown over is this guy from Microsoft buying the Clippers for $2 billion.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's economic segregation.
Yeah.
What
and
they've done is
he paid $12 million for the team.
Right.
And sold it for $2 billion.
$2 billion. But
so I guess all of them are going to start talking about Black folks now but making that kind of money.
Right. But now guess what they've done? Guess who that's X out of the picture?
Black.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, you can't have that talk about owning the team anymore. Wow, they done put the price up there to where?
Too high.
It's too high.
Because Ofra, Magic, and several of them, they're going to have to come together if they're going to get a team. They'll have to come together. Yeah. All righty. I thank you for your call, Keisha.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good day, sir.
All righty. 972-647-1893. I done forgot where I was now. On Tony. Yeah. All right. Bring me up Tony on 3. All right. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Fine. You doing all right? You called a little late this morning.
I was listening. One of the calls called, I think it was a teacher that called. And saying we should pay teachers $80,000 a year. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that price point. But my problem is that when teachers went to teach back in the day, it was because they loved kids. Now what they're doing now is saying we're going to put a carrot on the stick to where we don't care if you care about the kids. We just want you to commoditize them, teach you the test, and be successful. Whereas what they're doing is they're trying to get the highly educated people, and which they should. I'm not saying we shouldn't have highly educated teachers, but the Harvard-educated people can't get jobs in corporate America anymore. And so what they got to do is entice them with more money in the school system. And my problem with that is, okay, now I teach, I meet all your steps to become, to make $80,000, $90,000 a year, which the judge is this change that married pay to. Now, I ain't got time to worry about their kids not eating. I don't have time to worry about their kids not reading. Because I'm put on a pace to teach them a certain point at every point during the year. And so now you have lost humanity and, okay, this kid needs extra help. Just because X, Y, Z. And I think if we lose sight of the kids for the money and we go after the money.
Well, Tony, let me say this. I would love to see America come back to its senses and start paying teachers salaries that they could compete, that would compete against with corporate America. I'd love to see it. And I think they can still love children and make a good salary, because when I was growing up, the best job in the communities, usually small towns, was the school teachers. They had the most money, they lived better and everything. They were highly respected. But I would love to see them go to our sense where you pay a guy $20 million a year just to shoot a basketball in a goal, and pay a teacher a starting salary, $40,000 a year, that has the future of your child in his hand. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
But what you're seeing is a systematic, all of this ties back into the home rule, all of this. What you're seeing is a systematic deconstruction of your public school system. It hadn't been funded by the Republican Congress on the national level. The state level has cut it, and now your local level is trying to take the reins and trying to take the voice of the people in their own hands, where you don't have a voice. Understand this. The 10% rule that was in place for minorities, if you were in the top 10% of your class, you got accepted to any state school here in Texas.
Right. Yeah.
That's been under fire ever since its conception, and they're trying to do away with it.
They're trying to get it out.
They don't want you to have an opportunity. They're sending their kids to private school. They're paying and also paying public school taxes. Your kid is going to public school and still competing with their kid, and they spending more money.
And guess who's filing for most of your new charter systems? Private schools.
Exactly.
Because they feel like it's coming, that the individual will not have to pay personally. They'll get their money from the state.
That's right.
And that's what this whole thing is all about. So, but I would love to see school teachers paid a lot better than they are paid. I'd love to see that. You there, Tony? Oh, I guess he's gone. All right. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Where am I? Break time. All right. I tell you what, we're up against a short break. Call us at 972-647-1893. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion, Barnett, your host. With us this morning, guest hosting is Mr. Greg Barber. You hear him on the Solution in Action Today job line. He'll be coming up with that in just a moment. And those of you hanging on the line, just let the phone ring, and she'll get to you. And we'll try to get everybody we can in. So everybody, please be considerate of others. And because I'm the type of host, I like for you to have your say. If you're thinking enough to listen to the show and comment on the show, I want you to have your say without being interrupted. All righty. 972-647-1893. Neil, where am I? I got a stack of stuff here. I don't know what call is coming up next. I don't. Where am I?
James on one.
You got James on one? Okay. Good morning, James.
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine.
Yes, sir. I have some kin folks and listeners from Palestine up that way. William Smith and Deborah Jones and his mother Janice, they are faithful listeners, and they plan on calling into your program. But they're
give them a big shout out. Tell them hello. Tell them you love them.
Yes, sir. They'll be calling in and saying something. But Reverend Barnett, so many topics been covered this morning. I won't take up all the time. I know you're short, but if we just continue to mentor, tutor, and some of those professional athletes get involved with our young athletes and help them along the way, maybe we can curtail a lot of the damages that's being done to their young
Let me
fans.
tell you what athletes and entertainers can do. Black athletes, black entertainers.
Yes, sir.
Invest in businesses in our community. We don't need no more recreation centers, because if you get businesses going, other people can do the recreation. We need them to build stores.
Yes, sir.
What do you call it? Gas stations and cleaners, whatever the daily needs are. Build that in our community. Put your name on it. Come out and be there sometime. Let the people think they can come in and see you and meet you. We've had many black superstars to come through Dallas that could have done things like that and not invest in the wrong thing, invest in the right thing, and could have been successful. Now's the time for our athletes and entertainers to come out and really do something in our community, because God has blessed us with so much talent. Our athletes and entertainers could bail our people out. They could actually.
Reverend Barnett, we have Adrian Peterson Day coming up soon, and it's the same time that we're doing our Juneteenth, but we're not going to pit ourselves against each other. We're there for heritage and education, and it's sad that it came together like that, but we're going to work everything out. But we have another issue, Reverend Barnett. They're trying to get rid of our black chief of police, Robert Herbert, down here, and people have been advised to go to the city council meeting June the 9th and fill up this place and try to say something about it. But I have my own concerns, so I'll be speaking up or whatever need to be. But he helped quit on racial profiling here and have done a lot of other good things. And now they want to just throw him away because he's not in his place.
You make sure every African American down there, every concerned white down there, every Hispanic down there that's concerned about fair treatment need to show up at that council on, what'd you say, June 9th?
June the 9th, yes, sir.
Everybody in Mahab, not Mahab, but Palestine, need to be there.
Thank you so much, Reverend Barnett.
All right, thank you. All right, clear the line, 972-647-1893. I have line 3, Doc. All righty.
Reverend Barnett.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
Fine.
Concerning these teachers, a lot of these teachers are good teachers, but if they don't come up to the quota, they're not firing them, but they, give them extended leave with pay.
No, come up to their quotas on what?
On passing the students, like in math. Yeah.
Aren't they tested?
They're tested, and they want a certain amount of them to pass to go through the quota. And if they don't, well, the teacher, they don't have a reason to fire them, but they're giving them a leave with pay. And I know that for a fact by a friend of mine that's in the school district. She's going into another form of
Greg, you catching what he's saying?
No, not the gist of it. Could you elaborate on that? Give us a little more information.
They're not firing them. They're laying them off with pay. What do you call it?
Oh, it's on administrative leave. Right.
And a lot of
they're doing this for if they fail so many kids, or what?
Yeah, if they fail so many kids, and especially a lot of kids are not good in math, they have to pass a certain amount. If they don't, then the teacher.
I'm gonna give you my opinion on this. Our children, because they have no grasp of their history, is one of the main reasons our children don't do well in math. If they knew mathematics started on the African continent by their ancestors, and knew that astronomy started on the African continent, everything that we studied today started with our people. If they knew that, if our history was taught to our children, tell them that you cannot cop out and say you can't understand this and don't want to understand it. Hey, you started this. Your people started this. And if our children are taught certain things in certain ways, we would do a lot better. And you're right. Our children aren't doing well as they should, many of them. But now we have some great mathematicians, but we do need more children just doing good standardized math, geometry, they should do well in algebra and different things. Those subjects aren't, to my opinion, extremely hard. They're not hard. They can be understood. But if we take enough time away from these iPhones and iPads and whatever you call that other stuff that all these children have, we take them off of that and quit buying this stuff for your children. And if they have just a certain time that they can use it, and after that time, take it away. You should be able to turn your TV off at certain times, and they can't even watch television. None of this mess should be going on. There should be some quiet time, some study time. And obviously, this is not happening.
You hit on a very important point there, Reverend Barnett, and that is on these devices, for every technological advancement they come up with, it takes away a basic skill.
Right.
Typing, spelling, such as this. That phone, you don't have to spell. If you just get close, the phone will automatically auto-correct. That's taking away spelling. Right. You don't have to type it. If you type in a few letters, it'll finish the word. It's taking away.
Dumbing us down. Right.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, that's sad. All right. Thank you, Doc.
All right.
That clears the line, 972-647-1893. Let's go to Stephen on line 4. All righty.
How you doing, Pastor?
Fine, Stephen. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. My heart is just hurt because I was reading the scripture how it says, I think that's in Jeremiah, maybe Isaiah, how that we have strengthened the hand of the wicked and to cause the righteous to feel bad. Because, brother, I tried this stuff that you're talking right now on radio. I tried to tell this stuff in the church where I go to. Them people want to put me out of there.
For what?
Because
for telling the truth?
Tell the truth. For telling the truth. For telling the truth. They done had meetings. They done had meetings about me. Trying to put
what
me
are
out
you
the church.
saying, Stephen, in church that would upset them?
Simply that we haven't been taught correctly as a people, because we are the people of God, and the stuff that the nation of the earth know, they have gotten it from us.
Yeah, well, that's true. They don't want to hear that.
No, they don't.
Is this the white church you go to?
You know what, the pastor, well, she's not the pastor, but they got her over the church because our pastor. What history got to do with Jesus?
I still don't know if we're going to get to it.
What history has to do with Jesus?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
But understand, brother, what you just quoted. You said Jeremiah. Jeremiah wept. Why? Because he knew what he was having to tell the people. They wasn't gonna like it. It wasn't something they enjoyed hearing. And by the very fact that you say they upset with you, the Bible tells us that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you telling folks something and everybody's smiling and feeling good, you might not be telling them what they need to hear. Look at our overall condition and where we are. Somebody needs to stand up and tell us where we are. Somebody needs to stand up and tell us the truth. And the Bible tells us the truth. The world is not ready to what? Receive.
The truth. Well, they sure want to throw me out the church, brother, which I ain't concerned about that because I take this stuff to the streets as well. I'm just not in the church because I done found out that church folks don't want to know the truth.
Well, when you let them know to go back and really study, and they see, we haven't, a lot of our so-called even intellectual preachers haven't given us the truth about a lot of things, because there are many who still think the Hebrews and the Jews were the same people. They're not. Go back and read your Bible, and I can show you in 20 or 30 different scriptures that we are the Hebrews. We are the descendants of Abraham. The others came from Greece in 780 BC. And in history, you got to understand history. You understand the Bible is a futuristic, it's right now, and it is history. So we have to understand how to read the Bible, but we've been given such a bill of goods about a lot of things that our people will not accept what you're saying because they think it's a lie, because they've been taught, even if it came out of a black mouth, that black mouth was taught by somebody that don't look like him, to teach him against himself. So we have to just keep up the good work, brother. And
okay, let me
don't
say
get
this.
discouraged.
Let me say that I'm not going to get discouraged, but when I first began to learn this, Pastor, my heart was so happy. Then I went to church trying to tell these folks that my heart got sad but I'm going to keep doing, I'm going to keep on. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, well, every congregation cannot accept that. They're not going to. And when you see that happening, the only thing I can do is keep on trying to encourage you, okay? Keep on.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. 972-647-1893. Greg, we got callers. Do the job line. Yeah.
This morning on our SAT job line, the Solutions and Actions Today job line, brought to you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Quilt Craft is looking for customer service coordinators. They're asking you to apply online at www.quiltcraft. That's QUILTCRAFT.com. Once again, that web address is www.quiltcraft.com. Coverall is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.coverall, that's COVERALL.com. Once again, that web address is www.coverall.com. ASD is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.overheaddoor.com. Once again, that's ASD is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.overheaddoor.com. JP Morgan Chase is looking for a production operator. They're asking you to apply online at www.jpmchase at taleo.net/career section. Once again, that's JP Morgan Chase is looking for a production operator. They're asking you to apply online at www.jpmchase.taleo.net/career section. Kohl's is looking for a warehouse representative. They're asking you to apply online at www.kohls.com. Once again, that web address is www.kohls.com. If you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make that transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches. The number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make that transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Behind every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. Let me state unequivocally to all graduates, 2014 graduates, we congratulate you, we salute you, and we thank God for your accomplishments. We also implore you and beseech you to keep moving on. Don't stop right there. Keep moving forward. We pray God's favor and His grace shine upon you in your future pursuits. Just a few to name, those that I know. To my cousin Taylor Hall, who graduated from Texas A&M with her master's degree. Congratulations, cuz. Keep up the good work. To my church members who were high school graduates this year: Quentin Frazier, Deshandra Osby, DeCorey Griffin, Malik Blackburn, Darian Horman, Kiana Richmond, Dondre Carter, and Kiana Fury. Congratulations. To God be the glory. We thank God for you and your accomplishments. We're praying that God's grace and His favor shine upon you and in your life's pursuits and future endeavors.
You had all of those kids to graduate from high school this year.
We had those graduate from high school.
A good graduating class.
That is.
Great. Want to encourage them to go on and do something with their lives. God bless you, young people. All righty. Who do we have on the lines?
Crenshaw called back on line 1. He only has 3 minutes.
Who on line 2? Yes.
You have it over there?
Yeah.
You want to take it?
Yeah, bring on 2. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's John. Good morning, John.
Yeah, we lost him.
We lost him. Yeah, we've lost several calls. But let's look at this whole thing about going on. We got Justin Bieber calling us niggas now. We got the world has gone crazy. This man sells his team for $2 billion. Good God Almighty! That is what they said that the Cowboys were, mm-hmm. And the Cowboys still, they say, is the most popular franchise in all of America. And he sells his team for $2 billion. And this guy actually going to pay this $2 billion for the Clippers. Which has been the worst franchise in all of sports and probably in all sports history in America. And he's going to give $2 billion for the Clippers. Mm-hmm. My goodness. And I guess what are they trying to do? Make sure no Afro-American can buy it.
That's it. Economic segregation. But nobody speaks on that. They notice who was the next bidder. What was the bidding process? Show us the bids. Mm-hmm. And what ran it up to $2 billion?
Yeah. We never know. This might be just what they're telling us. You never know. They still probably playing a race game, and we don't know why was not some of the African Americans who would love to buy that team. Why were they ever looked at? Were they allowed to give a bid, place a bid on it? We don't know. And a lot of questions aren't going to be asked by our press. Our press today now is so biased and racist, and but we do have a black chain of radio stations owned by Radio 1. Do you see them being really as active as progressive as they could really be?
Not as much as they could.
Not nearly
as much as they could, because of sponsorships and this and that. They do have to adhere and stay away from certain topics. They can't just come and give the people the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank all of you for calling. Thank you for Greg coming in and joining us. And I'm the senior pastor of Heavenly Joy Church. We're located at Bruton Masters. Come and see us every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Sunday school 9:30. I'm Marion Barnett. You got to get out there and get out and run. And so y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.